I've been to the Olympics with boxing. I've been to 5 different weight classes, and I fought the best in my era. The key punch in boxing is the jab.
Hold me back. You fucking suck.
Terence Crawford is not only using new training techniques to get ready for his upcoming fight with Canelo Alvarez, but he's also brought a new trainer onto his team. The goal is to focus on workouts that can help overcome the weight disadvantage he'll face when he steps into the ring with Canelo. After their intense training session, Crawford and his new trainer, Floyd Mayweather, also had a sparring match to test each other's skills in the ring. It's no secret that Terence Crawford has kicked off a mini training camp ahead of his September showdown with Canelo Alvarez, following his recovery from an injury. As the fight gets closer, the undefeated world champion plans to ramp up his training intensity. He's already making a strong start by exploring new training techniques and weight-building strategies to minimize his size disadvantage when they face off in the ring.
I think, I take more chances.
Excuse me, Crawford.
Right now. But earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So,
as Crawford pointed out, he and Canelo have a lot in common. However, boxing fans have often compared the two to figure out who would come out on top in a fight. One recent analysis even named Crawford as the likely winner. When it comes to pure boxing skills, though, it's hard to find anyone better than Floyd Mayweather Jr., who's known for delivering master classes in the sweet science.
Depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. Do you talk about money or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy fight.
Mayweather's jab, precision, timing, and counterpunching skills allowed him to break down his opponents one by one. He mastered this over 2 different phases of his career, constantly adapting and dominating in the ring.
He's got a reach from the left hooks again. He's a lightning hand speed extraordinary. Left hook drops him, and then he hit his head off the en masse here at the engine.
As Crawford mentioned, Pretty Boy Floyd was the more aggressive fighter, always pushing the action against his opponents. Later in his career, Money Mayweather became known for outsmarting his opponents with brilliant, calculated boxing. No matter which style you prefer, both versions of Mayweather contributed to his legendary status. Meanwhile, boxing fans are still in awe of what Crawford did to Spence in his last fight.
He drops him again. That's a hard knockdown that time.
Crawford's power jab, which he used to pierce through Spence's guard, along with his sharp counterpunching, showed his exceptional boxing skills. It wasn't the first time he displayed this, but his performance against Spence was something special, especially considering Spence's high level. When it comes to pure boxing ability, it's tough to say anyone should get the edge over Mayweather. Crawford's style is different, but just as effective, even explosive. So, if Crawford were to face Mayweather in his prime, how would their styles match up? Who would land the first jab? Who would counter more effectively? With so many possible outcomes, it might be fair to call this matchup a draw in terms of pure boxing. Mayweather has consistently been able to draw his opponents into the middle of the ring, where he would analyze, calculate, and develop a strategy to dismantle them. His incredible ring IQ and mantra of hit and not get hit earned him a spot in the Hall of Fame as an undefeated 5-division world champion. Crawford, with his own high ring IQ, became undisputed at junior welterweight and welterweight, showcasing his strategic skills over the course of his career. Mayweather was known for his fast hands, especially when counterpunching, but Crawford's sharp angles and quick delivery give him the edge in speed. Out of Mayweather's 50 wins, 27 were by knockout, while Crawford has 40 wins, with 31 coming by knockout, and he's still active. Crawford's brilliance was on full display in his fight with Spence, where he dropped him 3 times on his way to a dominant 9th round TKO, taking down a powerful body-punching fighter like Spence, who had previously broken down fighters like Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Yordenis Ugas to become the unified welterweight champ was no easy feat, yet Crawford made it look effortless, with his power playing a huge role. Mayweather, on the other hand, mastered the defensive art with his Philly, Shell raising his shoulder to absorb shots while using his free hand to pick his punches. It was defensive boxing turned counterpunching at its absolute best.
Look at this, that's unbelievable. Young boxing fans that are watching Floyd Mayweather, you're seeing one of the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's how strong. You're wearing, then he's nowhere. You think you. And again, it's not just hand quickness.
Crawford does have slick defense, but Mayweather took defensive boxing to a level of near perfection, a style that was carefully crafted. So, how would a fight between a prime Crawford and Mayweather play out? And who would win? After a tense first round where both fighters are sizing each other up, Crawford would likely be the more active and aggressive one, landing shots even if Mayweather absorbs many of them with his shoulder and elbow. As the fight progresses into the middle rounds, Mayweather's defensive style would start to dominate as he begins to pepper Crawford with jabs, picking up some rounds in the process.
It's the movement of the head. The way he rolls with punches. Look at the way he makes them miss. I mean, here we go. Through a series of punches and nothing really landed. Terrific fighter. For Mayweather.
Despite Mayweather's defensive mastery, Crawford's relentless pressure and explosive power could eventually find a way through, even potentially hurting the legend at times. While the fight would be close, Crawford's relentless volume and fighting style might earn him points from the judges, edging out Mayweather's more calculated approach. Crawford's exceptional skills and unbeaten record highlight the results of his dedication to training and strategic conditioning. His preparation for the Canelo Alvarez fight combines tough physical workouts with a strong mental focus, setting him apart in the boxing world. Crawford's daily training routine is a mix of activities designed to enhance his boxing abilities, keep him in top physical shape, improve his punch power, and help him gain the necessary weight for the Canelo fight. A typical day includes circuit training with weights, strength and conditioning exercises to boost speed and agility, core work where McIntyre bounces a heavy medicine ball off his stomach while he does crunches, mountain runs, and swimming. Terence Crawford is a big fan of swimming as part of his cardio training, often swimming for 30 minutes to an hour every night. It's a low-impact exercise that's gentle on his joints, helping with muscle recovery and regeneration. Though it's not a natural activity for him, Crawford pushes himself harder in the pool, finding it a different kind of cardio compared to running. He believes it plays a huge role in boosting his cardio endurance. After that, Crawford moves onto his boxing training, always focused on refining both his offensive and defensive techniques. One standout aspect of his style is how smoothly he switches between stances during a fight, which adds to his unpredictability in the ring. At first, Crawford's coaches tried to convince him to stick to one stance, but they eventually realized that training him in both stances would be more beneficial. You can still see him practicing this today. When boxers train for a fight, they often spar with others to improve, and this was especially true for Crawford early in his career. He was so impressive that even top boxers like Timothy Bradley were taken aback by his skills. Nowadays, Crawford is considered one of the best in the world, and other boxers come to him for sparring sessions, though they don't usually come out on top. Despite being naturally right-handed, Crawford is also highly skilled with his left hand, making him even more dangerous in the ring. When Crawford spars with other boxers, he often relies on his world-class left hand. Boxing fans understand that developing punching power takes a lot of hard work, and one of the key tools for that is the heavy bag. Crawford, as a professional boxer, uses the heavy bag to refine his punching technique and build shoulder endurance. Watching him in action, you can see him throwing powerful punches, quick combinations, and everything in between. To get the most out of his training, Crawford mixes up the rhythm of his punches, sometimes hitting the bag lightly and other times delivering full-force blows. A key part of Crawford's training involves working with his coaches on the pads. During these sessions, he doesn't focus on speed or power, but rather on perfecting different offensive and defensive scenarios, honing his technique and tactics. Crawford also incorporates other training tools like reaction noodles and a punch shield to boost his movement and precision. As a shadow boxer, Crawford is exceptional, showcasing impressive skills. What truly sets him apart, though, is his ability to stay calm and adapt to whatever situations arise in the ring. Crawford excels at both offensive and defensive punches, making it look effortless. But what truly sets him apart is his mental toughness. He often trains in tough conditions to push himself further. When he's not doing that, Crawford likes to use light 2-kilo dumbbells while shadowboxing. This helps him build strength while maintaining speed and grace, so he can hit hard and still move quickly. Always striving to improve, Crawford uses the double-end bag to fine-tune his accuracy and timing. This bag also helps him practice important skills like footwork and head movement, which are vital in the ring. Crawford's coach, Biak, also uses sticks during training to catch Crawford off guard and force him to react defensively, adding an extra layer of challenge. In terms of nutrition, Crawford follows a plan focused on lean proteins, complex carbs, and hydration to support his performance and recovery. He trusts his coach and nutritionist to handle his food, explaining in an interview with Muscle and Fitness that his nutritionist tells his coach what he should eat, and she takes care of the rest. Crawford doesn't worry about the details, he just eats the meals they prepare for him.
405. 405. There you go.
Mikey Garcia, the younger brother of Robert Garcia, who won Ring Magazine's Manager of the Year, was one of the skeptics regarding the potential Crawford vs. Canelo fight. In an interview with Fight Hub TV, Garcia shared that he wasn't fully supportive of the matchup, even though it's one of the most anticipated by boxing fans. He highlighted the weight difference between the two fighters, pointing out how Crawford struggled against Israel Madrimov after moving up to 154 lbs, which is 3 weight classes higher than his usual. Wizen?
There are too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo.
Despite Crawford's apparent skill advantage, Mikey Garcia believes the size difference would be the deciding factor in a potential fight with Canelo. He argues that Canelo's size and power would likely give him the edge. Garcia pointed out that Crawford has already achieved everything he needed to from 140 to 147 lbs, and moving up to 154 lbs would present an even bigger challenge for him. Garcia also suggested that if Crawford wants to test himself, he could aim for an undisputed fight in his current division. Although he acknowledged there's little money in that, he understands that a fight between Crawford and Canelo would bring in significant revenue, but as a fan of the sport, he prefers Alvarez to face opponents within his weight class or even higher, like Artur Beterbiev or a rematch with Dmitry Bivol.
Is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Yeah.
Mikey Garcia emphasized that Canelo should challenge fighters at 175 lbs rather than facing smaller opponents moving up in weight. This point of view highlights the ongoing excitement and debate surrounding the potential showdown between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Crawford, known for his versatility and technical skills, is looking to move up 2 weight classes to challenge the undisputed super middleweight champion. This bold move has sparked mixed opinions among boxing experts, with some impressed by Crawford's ambition and others questioning the wisdom of such a jump in weight.
Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, you know, maybe 166 max if he accepts.
Yeah.
I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size.
Deontay Wilder, a former heavyweight world champion, voiced concerns about Terence Crawford's big weight jump from 147 lbs to 168 lbs. In an interview with ES News, Wilder explained that while Crawford's ability to switch between southpaw and orthodox might help, fighting much heavier opponents feels entirely different. He compared it to being a baby facing much stronger fighters, noting that punches are absorbed differently at higher weights. Despite these concerns, Crawford has made strides to close the weight gap by capturing the World Boxing Association super welterweight title.
If they do, I'll be there. You know what I mean? That's gonna be a good one. Both of them great guys. They got great talent, and both of them very determined. Got their killer instinct, and then it's more.
Even with Crawford's recent achievement, there's still a significant 14 lb weight difference between him and Canelo Alvarez, which could have a major impact on the fight's outcome. Canelo, known for his relentless punching power, stamina, and solid defense, has established himself as a dominant force in the super middleweight division. Despite suffering 2 career defeats by decision, his resilience and toughness have made him one of boxing's toughest competitors. This matchup between the two promises an exciting spectacle, but it also presents a massive challenge for Crawford.
If they do, I'll be there. You know what I mean? That's gonna be a good one. Both of them great guys. They got great talent, and both of them very determined. Got their killer instinct, and then it's more.
For Crawford to succeed, he'll need to demonstrate extraordinary adaptability and resilience against Canelo in a higher weight class. While Wilder's concerns about the weight difference are understandable, the excitement around this fight is hard to ignore. It will be a battle between 2 of boxing's elite with a clash of styles and raw power that has fans eagerly awaiting what could be one of the sport's most thrilling events. Interestingly, Canelo Alvarez already has a guaranteed opponent for 2025. Not for his May fight, but for his September bout, which will take place during the Mexican Independence weekend in Las Vegas.
Named you and Terence Crawford as one of the top 5 fights that he wants to see this year. Is that a fight that you're considering now?
We'll see. Everything.
Persistence from Terence Crawford and his team appears to be paying off, as it looks like Canelo Alvarez will accept a fight with the undefeated American in 2025. However, according to boxing insider Ray Jackson, the cost for promoters will be steep. Canelo has already indicated that he would require $150 million for a fight with Crawford. If this amount is agreed upon, Alvarez would return to the top of the highest paid boxers and athletes in 2025, a position he lost the previous year. The anticipation surrounding this potential matchup is only growing as both fighters look to make history.
It's possible. We'll see. We want to talk about it, sit down really well and figure out something.
I know you thought he was kind of a lose-lose situation.
The potential showdown in September between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is quickly becoming one of the most eagerly anticipated matchups in boxing over the past decade. The year 2025 is off to an exciting start for boxing fans, as numerous major fights that have been in the making for years could finally come to fruition. Among them, the fight between Canelo and Crawford stands out. According to Essentially Sports, much of the credit for this potential fight goes to Sheikh Turki Alik, who is said to have recently met with Canelo to discuss the details of the business and secure a multi-million-dollar purse for the rights to Alvarez's next bouts. The buzz surrounding this potential fight continues to build, with both fighters ready to make history.
That's right, Cam. Run it up, Cam. That's right. On the pose, on the pose, on the pose. There you go, on the pose.
Alal Sheikh and Canelo Alvarez have reportedly reached an agreement to stage the highly anticipated fight against Terence Crawford in mid-December, coinciding with Mexico's Independence Day celebrations. However, the biggest question surrounding the fight isn't the match itself, but the significant weight difference between the two fighters. Experts in the boxing world, including former world champions like Mike Tyson, are wondering how the southpaw from Alabama, Crawford, will manage to match Canelo's size, with a 14-pound weight difference and 2 weight classes between them. Legendary. Boxing trainer turned analyst Teddy Atlas shared his thoughts with Fight Hub TV regarding the potential mega fight, stating that he would find it difficult to go against Crawford. Very few people have the appetite or inclination for challenging themselves. Mr. Crawford does. I ain't never going against that guy, said Atlas. He acknowledged that while Father Time might catch up with Crawford eventually, he's uncertain whether a weight class can. Crawford's reputation for taking on challenges has already made him a fan favorite, and this fight would be a true test of his adaptability and skill at a higher weight class.
Kid who's getting better, he's improved recently. I think he still needs more seasoning, but I see an improvement in him. He is a talented kid.
It's a tremendous challenge because Canelo is a tremendous fighter, bigger, stronger, and able to punch and time you effectively. However, just because Crawford is smaller doesn't mean he won't come up with a game plan that forces his opponent to use his size. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, McIntyre gave a glowing reference to the undefeated Crawford, who was being linked to facing Canelo in either May or September. Crawford has all the tools to win a third weight undisputed crown. Any hardcore boxing fan knows Crawford can beat Canelo. You have to know boxing to be able to say that, McIntyre shared with Fight Hub, and that's all for now. For the best updates on news, moments, events, and action in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications to be notified when we drop more quality content like this. Until next time, peace out.